Episode 2 of The Rescue. Let's take a look at these Houston properties that we took over. We're going to see how we're profiting this month compared to the previous host when he was listing them, and we will look at both listings side by side. We're going to teach you a lot of things about this project and our takeover. My name is Rakidzich. This is Airbnb Automated, and this is where you want to be to learn to host. Welcome back, Airbnb family. So by the end of this video, you're going to learn a lot. As always, we are going to look at the previous hosts' listings that I'm a co-host on. We're going to look at our new versions of these listings, what we did to change them essentially to make them marketable, and we're going to look at the numbers. We're going to look at his pricing, our pricing. It's going to be big. Now, I'm home for a couple days. It's good to be back. I'm in Dallas. As you know, right now we're in the middle of a 50-door build-out. These 8 units that we're taking over in Houston, this rescue was part of that 50 doors. We're picking up another 10 in Houston. We picked up like 4 or something in Dallas, and then the rest of them are in Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is going crazy. Saturdays are wonderful. The weekdays are barren, so we have to fight a lot for our weekday bookings, but we're getting like a king's ransom on our Saturday nights, which is super, super cool. And it's a Saturday right now. Is it? I think so. Happy Saturday. If it's Saturday, I forget. Anyway, so let's jump into this. This is super cool. I'm doing a screencast right now. Let's pull up the screen share. Let's first look at this gentleman's listings. We're going to, of course, go and look at a couple of them just so that way I don't give you like some one-off example. So this is one. Let's start. Sleeps 6. That's obvious when you make a listing. Steps from the Galleria, that's less obvious, so that can go in there. 55-inch 4K TV. Some people don't care, and like we did in another video when we talked about Disney Plus, very rarely are people watching TV. I don't think that is something that you would put in your title. It just doesn't do anything. Here, remember, this host is in the Philippines a lot. That may matter in the Philippines. I don't know. Those of you overseas, if you think that advertising your TV size matters, leave it in the comments right now. So now, we talked about this too. 6 out of every 10 actions that someone makes when they first preview a listing is they go through the photo reel. Brian Chesky brought this up in an interview. So let's go straight to his photos. So he has 12 photos. That's more than the 8 that you need to get your proper SEO. He does have a couple odd-sized photos, like vertical ones. Not the best. So let that be what you will. So, but let's look at the first photo. So his first photo, as you can tell, the first thing that you're going to notice is there's a high amount of contrast. There is one lamp. There's some light on the lamp, and you can barely see much, right? And then everything else is dark. This is just a poor approach to taking the photo, and I don't want to knock this host, but I think he knows. And the problem with this building is it's super hard to get any light in this video, in this building, because we took it over. We know this building's a pain to get light in, and there's no lights like in the living room. They don't actually put like fixture lights in the living room. You have to bring your own lights in. So he kind of made do with what he had. We had to bring in a lot of extra lights, which you're going to see. So that's one. This one's cool because it has a mirror on the right side, as you can see here. So I do like this particular room because of the mirror. It can make things more open. That's the door to the kitchen. This photo, it doesn't do anything for me because like we have a rule where we try to plate the table every time. And this just doesn't really sell anything special about the space either. It's just kind of another average photo with a couple, kind of a couple things forgotten. Going to the rest of his photos, we don't have to spend much time. The kitchen, didn't really do anything special with the kitchen. He's like, who cares? This is, hey, we have a kitchen. There's a sink on the left. You can almost see the stove to the right. The exposure's not good because that light in the top center is the only light. And when a camera phone takes a photo, there's like AI in it, and it decides how bright everything needs to be based on the source lighting. And so the top lighting is so bright that it kind of washes out the stove. You can't make out any of the black parts of the image. So then here's something that we're going to talk about in the course that we're actually, by the way, we are going to have 2 separate or maybe 3 separate modules within the course that will be independently purchasable, and one is on photography. In the course, if you notice this photo, it's of 2 beds, just the source lighting. I think it's kind of artistic, right? With that lamp in the middle, it's kind of cool. It's got symmetry, and that's cool. And then the next photo that he puts up is essentially the same photo, just different angle. Why, right? So this is a little redundant, and I would avoid this, right? Also, he didn't really do anything to make the bedroom look welcoming at all. And so that will like, you're pretty much driving an economy product right now. Be like, yes, there are beds. The beds have pillows, right? There is a window, right? So depending on what price point you're trying to collect, you can get away with like run-of-the-mill photos, because anybody who's ever stayed in a La Quinta, which I've made friends with this Forbes writer guy, and I'm not gonna, like, I can't. There's some things I cannot say because he's like, probably a lot of stuff what he's done as a journalist. There's things that have to be done in confidence, but you can have a La Quinta Airbnb, essentially, right? You can have a La Quinta quality Airbnb, and your photos may not have to be the best. If you're available at the price point, they just want to know that they're not going to die showing up to your place, you can do that. So, not to say that this guy was going for the La Quinta thing. I just think he took kind of like a matter-of-fact approach to his photos, and it shows in the photos, right? So that's his photos. Now, the community's kind of cool. There are pools and like lots of yard space. So showing photos of the amenities of this building, I think, is a grand idea. Like, this is a cool photo. More could be done around this because it is such a big property. So he could do more with that, or could have done more with that. So that's one. Now let's look at what he wrote. I think that's another thing that should be talked about. So he wrote, an easygoing apartment. See, he's going for casual. Steps from the Galleria, perfect home away from home, whether you're in Houston or on business or leisure. He's going for like a sales copywriting here, but it doesn't, like, when you say something like that, whether you're coming to Houston for business or for leisure, his next line is, you will find the hottest places nearby. So what he's trying to tell you is that his placement is good for business travelers or leisure travelers. He's not really selling anything like that really would speak to a person. So when you sell somebody, you want to speak to that specific person. And I try to avoid car salesman copywriting, if I can tell it to you that way. So car salesman, or the, you want watches? I got watches. You want steak knives? Like in my code, I also got steak knives, and I got watches in the other. You know what I mean? You don't want to have that we've got it all thing. Choose your tribe, right? Choose your tribe, sell to your tribe. And if you crush it, there's going to be people not in the tribe that will click on you and buy you. You know that a lot of the clickbait on the internet is like the millennials will never do this. And so that is not for necessarily millennials to read, right? Everybody else who's not a millennial, who has a feeling about a millennial, is going to click on that going, what are millennials not going to do? I want to know, because I've got a thing about millennials. So think about when you write something for your tribe, you can also pick up some cross-marketing based on the way that you sell it. There are books out there that talk about walking away from deals in order to win more deals in the long run. So maybe I'll find you. It's not in my book rack right now, and I'll have to find it. I will find you the name of the book, and we'll get there. It's like that book actually talks about the 4 phases of buyers. I think it's called Buyology, Buyology, but I don't know if that's the one. So moving on. The space, he does a little bit better here. Has self-check-in, then wireless internet, laptop-friendly workspace, blah, blah, blah. Self-check-in again, smoke detector. He mentioned some things that pretty much Airbnb will plug. We do this, but we do this like in the stuff that no one else has. So making a list of amenities, do like a hit list of 10 things that nobody else can compete with you on. Like for example, we have some spaces in Philadelphia that have free parking. And in Philadelphia, that doesn't happen. Parking at all cannot happen in Philadelphia. Think about it like that. So he doesn't really stay conversational with the guest access part. He has some VAs, so he kind of, in a way, explains that, and that he has staff on site. That's good. He proclaims that he's a food connoisseur and that he can be helpful with finding food stuff. That's kind of cool. The other things to note, he starts to kind of, spread some wings a little bit. So his pricing strategy. or lack thereof. He has a $75 base rate. He's got a $32 cleaning fee, a security deposit of $150, a management fee of $1, and no weekend pricing. Changes immediately. Scratch the security deposit. It doesn't help you. You still have to go through Airbnb to get your stuff, and whether or not they hold a security deposit or you invoke the host guarantee, they don't charge the guest that $150, but it makes the guest think sometimes. Some guests think that they get charged this $150 and they just don't book with you. There's still a lot of new users on Airbnb. There's a lot of new adaptation, and so that security deposit is one hell of a way to not get guests. Management fee of $1, sneaky way to get an extra $1. That's cool. Maybe you know what? There's one thing I'm gonna say right now. He may be onto something. Way to squeeze in an extra $1 per reservation, right? Bam. Because people are looking, and if the price doesn't show that there's a management fee, and then people on checkout notice there's a $1 management fee, maybe they'll just go, cool, I'll pay the $1. And so you might actually be able to squeeze an extra $1 out of all of your transactions. If you have 5,000 transactions a year, you could get an extra $5,000, and no one would bat an eye, maybe. So cleaning fee's good though. His length of stay prices, 2 nights 3% off, kind of insignificant. Weekly 15, and monthly 30% off. His target price point is $1,484 for a month. That for this property is a $500 profit. That's how cheap these places are. Less than $1,000 for rent. Now, that doesn't include utilities or internet, etc. So he really, at this point, was like, I will make $300 a month on these doors if they rent by the month. No, thank you. We are not landlords. We are not here to cash flow $300. Come on, right? So you could do better than that. He just didn't really invest heavily into the look, so he can't really justify a larger price. And he's not using, we're going to say something, price discrimination. He's not using price discrimination either. There are people who are non-elastic on their price points, and they will pay to stay anytime that they travel ever. They'll be like, yeah, $120 a night is my thing. They find a place, easy peasy. They like your place enough to not look anymore, and they'll click for $120 a night. Bang. So he's not using this overpriced process like we do, and then pricing down based on how he is with the market. We're not going to jump into a 2-hour-long conversation about pricing strategy, but like I said, we'll be selling 2 separate modules or 3 separate modules of the course individually. And one of those is pricing strategy. So there will be a photography module, which I've been working closely with a professional photographer to apprentice with this guy to make sure I'm giving the right information. And then pricing strategy, which is my game. That's my love. My one love on Airbnb is to nerd out on numbers. And so you could buy either one for $300 ballpark each, and though the price that you pay for those will actually go towards the final cost of the course if you buy the whole course too. So just so you know, it just makes it a little bit more digestible because a lot of you people are already hosts. You just want a quick fix on a couple of things, right? So more later. We'll talk about that later. Let's get back to this. So we've looked at this guy's pricing strategy. Issues. Let's look at availability. Good. Same day till midnight. He did it right. All future dates. Cool. Checkout time 10 a.m. A little bit early. I wouldn't do 10 a.m. A lot of people don't like our 11 a.m. checkout time. So 10 a.m. is even earlier. So be careful with that. So booking settings. Let's see where he's at here. Strict. That's good. He does have a couple like house rules. If you throw a party, you get a fine. He doesn't have a real comprehensive house rules list. And then he requires a government issued ID, but no profile photo. Weird. Okay. So anyway, so that's that listing. So this other one, Sleep 6 also. Same kind of deal, but let's look at his photos here. So this one, his living room is a little bit more well lit. He took this photo with the window open, and he was able to get some, let's see, zoom in. So he got some window light in there and got a little bit more even lighting, right? So I would imagine that this one would probably perform better, except for the fact that there's nothing in the space. If you remember in our last video we did for episode 1 of the rescue, this was one that we walked through, and then we did a little teaser what it looked like afterwards. this could be cool if he just did some things. He just needed to do a little bit of things, and he needed to control the crop of what he's showing. Also, when you have a hard layout or like a barren property, you need to create a good composition, and just having a lot of like nothing doesn't really go good for your photos. So then a lot of his photos are the same, except, hey, look, the kitchen. You can actually see the stove in this one, right? Because the kitchen's white. But again, this kitchen looks empty. It's like, oh, we get nothing. Okay, cool. The kitchen is, we have to bring all of our own everything, is what you imply with that shot. He takes a photo of the closet on this one. He's got, 9 photos in this one? That's still more than the 8 that's required. He doesn't have any vertical photos in this one, so that's better. He still has the same few amenities shots. He lets you know that he doesn't even have a shower rod for the shower, and we had to fix those when we showed up, so that could be an issue. See, a lot of these things people will notice because the first thing that they do is go through the photos, right? And so like I told you, his pricing strategy is $75 a day, just nothing else special. Okay, that's it. So that's one of the problems is he's not catching his big reservations when people are a little bit like less sensitive to price, and then pricing around those whales, as we can call it. So let's move to ours. Let's take a look at ours. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Okay, so the first one we looked at. Not the second one, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is the first one. Not the one that we just showed tell on. This is a new listing you guys haven't seen from episode 1 of The Rescue. Let's go to the photos because, of course, the first photos matter. So we have 13 photos up so far. You can see, let's go there. These photos are essentially the same but different angles. I know I said redundancy, so we still take 2 different perspectives on the living room a lot of the times. You don't want to get redundant on your photos, though. If I took another living room shot, it'd probably be overkill. So with this photo, we have better lighting. We got these lights from IKEA. You saw that in our favorite products. I actually was sitting on that coffee table when I shot the My Favorite Products video. And so what we did is we pretty much took everything that we could get from this guy. The only things we added to this one is we added a couple books on the coffee table. We added some pillows for the couch. We added some plants, and we added some different lights. That's pretty much the only thing that we did for this one. Let me zoom back out. But what we did is we essentially attempted to take better photos. But look what we did with the dinner table. We set the table. We've got like place settings, bowls, cups, plates, etc. And you know what? Actually, this shot, if you're paying attention, let me zoom in here. If you're paying attention, that is a couch that is not in this listing. Does anybody notice? Nope. We took the best photo that we could get of the perspective and put it in there, and the back is just too abstract that nobody really knows. But we use it in this listing because we want the best photos we can get our hands on, and we kind of rushed our work. And if listings are near identical, we'll use those same photos. People are not going to notice that the writing that says "Welcome Home" is blue instead of like indigo. You know what I mean? They're not going to notice these fine details. So let's look at the beds. What's different here? We didn't really do anything but put a rug on the floor, put some headboards in the back, back that camera up, and we made sure that these are more comfortable now too. So we put 4-inch memory foam toppers on them. We bought higher quality pillows. The sleep is much better on these. And the only thing we did is we used the wider angle lens. Actually, I think I did a pano with my camera phone, like my smartphone, to create this shot. And that way we've got some headboards. It just makes everything seem a little bit more like prepared. And voila. So it's still not a wonderful shot. It's not like we went, all out. We didn't buy a bunch of throw blankets or anything. And we could still continue to upgrade these, but we wanted to get these live because we were rushed with 40 or 50 units. We spent maybe $1,200 per door on average, I think, to get them all out the door with everything else. Because where did we spend a lot of our money? Remember that kitchen shot he did where one you couldn't even see the stove and one you could? This is our kitchen shot. Huge difference, right? We're not going to show like, hey, this is a very basic kitchen that's no fun in an old building. We're like, hey, here's a stove with everything you need to cook, right? And hey, see the water filter in the back? A lot of people want filtered water, and older properties don't have it, so we snuck that into the shot too. Basically, what you're doing is you're allowing people to window shop without having to read. You're telling people what you have. A picture is worth 1,000 likes and subscribes, right? So make sure you subscribe to this channel. Finally, you guys are watching a lot of this content and not subscribing. We have a coffee station in each listing. We're doing something new with the coffee stations. We'll show you that in a future video. But Do you notice we have decaf in that shot? We have decaf. And 1 out of 3 travelers will drink tea or decaf. Do not underestimate that. That's a big deal. So this allows us to add context to the shots. So we also took a photo of the gym that we have. We did a better job with the bathroom. We just bought a couple things. We bought a floor mat. We bought a rod for the shower curtain, and we put some towels and stuff up. But we didn't do anything crazy with this one specifically. So we had to buy all the basics, all the stuff that got overlooked essentially for this. Now let's look at the copywriting next. So ours, you notice that we have emojis in our title. I will teach you how to do this because there's a way to get real iPhone emojis, like the fun ones. Not just the video. I did a video about how to get like icons, going to copypastecharacter.com and putting them in. But there is a way to get real iPhone emojis in your listing title. And we'll do that in a different video. Man, there's a lot to talk about, isn't there? You know what my best friend said? You're going to run out of content soon. Here we are, right? We're still doing videos like multiple times a week. Like, what's up? So there's so much to learn about Airbnb. And I'm going to take a break to slam Brian Page and his stupid $1,000 course that he teaches you less than this channel. And a lot of you who are watching this content right now are watching because you're researching whether or not you should buy a course. The answer is no. You don't have to buy a course. If you want to get everything you need, you can get it right in this channel. Let me link it. We have a playlist for a course. It's like 70 plus videos of everything you really need to know to run an Airbnb business. It has more than Brian Page's course. It has more than anybody else on the market. And if you end up buying the course that I will be publishing soon, it's because it's like the Encyclopedia Britannica of running an Airbnb business, right? It's going to have absolutely everything you could possibly imagine. And I still have to break it up into 3 chunks because at different stages of ownership, like you guys don't need to spend 20 hours learning about how to run $1 million plus enterprise until you're there, right? So there's literally just tomes and tomes of information I could throw at you down at the granular level, like how to get an emoji on your title. And you know what? I like that heart there, all right? It means a lot to me to have it. And I think it's helpful because the color, it literally shows up when you search. The color pops off the title. Extra clicks. I'm also going to do a video on our search ranking and our first page rankings and some of our best performing listings soon as well. A lot of updates. So, copywriting, let's click. All right, this spacious double queen bed apartment is a great option for a traveling group. We chose our tribe. The large floor plans provide a roomy stay extremely close to the Galleria Mall and Business District. We added Business District in there because we could get some business travelers. We provide for free, hey, look at those check marks, right? Coffee, tea, decaf, Wi-Fi, parking, pool, gym, full kitchen, self-check-in, large floor plans, extremely comfortable beds and pillows, quality toiletries and soaps, large smart TV with these channels. We need to add Disney Plus to those too, don't we? So this is our description. We provide free and then go bam. This is what we have in a cool list. It looks good when you search on Airbnb. This home is part of a large garden-style property. This means there are over 20 apartment buildings inside of our gated community. Gated community helps for people feeling secure. This building would otherwise tend to have people. We've actually had people say that they think it looks kind of sketchy. So gated community to let people know it's secure. It is a lagoon-style pool. How about that for copywriting? Volleyball, a gym, friendly building management, and all of the outdoor space you could desire. How about the word desire there, right? So copywriting, fun stuff. So that's the copywriting we went through. We are a team of hosts. Someone's always available on the Airbnb platform, 8 a.m. to midnight, getting around. We are in the Galleria. I give them a couple places that I really like, and I'm actually showing like how this host said he's a food connoisseur. Great idea. How about you bring it, right? So go to this place for this Reuben. Get this appetizer at North Italia, and of course everything else. So it's right there. Now, let's look at the performance of let's look at our pricing strategy. I know you guys want it, right? Okay, cool. Let's get to it. All right. So we also have a strict booking settings, all the same things that he did. So our pricing strategy, we have a $144 base rate. His was $75. We charge double, okay? Our 3-night discount is 20%, 4 nights 27%. weekly 31%, monthly 44%, landing us at $22.40 for the month instead of $14.84 for the month. That is like $750 more a month net. And because we are at this is like a highly discounted thing, we are still getting weekly stays. All right, we are still getting people who will stay 14 days at a time, and I'll show you. So our cleaning fee is $35. Weekend price is $170. Extra guests after the agreed upon maximum amount is $40 per person, and that's it. We also do a non-refundable beta, 10% off on this. So we're doing like what's it called, a moderate beta. So it's kind of cool. So now let's go into the performance. I will tell you too that because of these one bedrooms, we actually did not have them completely available. We actually did dates available or dates unavailable by default, and would only open up 3 weeks out because I was testing something which is called a Jack and Jill style apartment, where somebody could rent 2 apartments side by side and have like door 17 and 19 and rent them both and kind of have access to both and create a bigger advertised unit. We're still advertising those, but we're tweaking them, and we definitely overpriced them and nobody's booking them. So that was a failure so far. I'm testing it so I can tell you if it works, right? And so right now it's failing. But with that said, we just now opened them up right before this video. I decided to open them up for like all dates available, and we're going to talk about how it affects performance to have blocked dates and open dates. But right now we just opened them up, so you'll see that like December we don't have really much bookings or any bookings because we had them blocked until like we actually had this available as like December 3rd, or just like it was blocked as of December 8th actually, I think. So now with this one, this grayed out date, it's either privately booked or what'll happen, there's just been this bug on Airbnb that if you're not the admin, you cannot see the reservations. So this is the co-host account, and we had a deal for the last couple of weeks where like we'll just see blocked dates, and this admin account can actually see who was the one booking. It's kind of weird. So if you look at this one, another thing that you're going to notice is the admin is not sharing the prices at which he booked. So when you look at this whole calendar, you'll see everything's grayed out. So this listing, though, we can click on each individual one and you can see it. We updated the price sharings. So our admin account isn't sharing the prices with the co-host. We could. I don't know why I did that. But so this guest paid $325 for 3 nights, right? So we did a little discounting from our full rate, and they ended up paying a 3-night price of $325. This person paid 2 nights at $266, and because we just launched this thing, November? Yes. So there was there's essentially where we started these live. See, they were blocked by a different listing. Essentially, we took these over, tried to get them live by the 4th or 5th. And so the 6th was like our first real guest. And so these we did discount from our market price, because remember, we overprice the market, and then as we come down towards the day of arrival, we drop our rates. So 3 weeks out, we're dropping our rates. Let's see what this person booked for. They booked for $144 for 1 night. Okay, so that's not bad at all. So if you think about it, we're still getting let's say $75 a night here. This person, we're getting $110 a night from that person. We're getting $133 a night from that person. Oscar paid $71 because we're doing price discrimination. Jang Xiong paid $63. Sorry if I butchered that. I'm a bad reader. $77. So we are landing at that $75 a night ballpark. This person paid about $100 a night. So the thing though is if we're getting on average, say $90 a night on 30 nights, how much is that? If we get an average of 90, we're looking at near $270, right? So $2,700. So instead of getting what he was getting, which is $1,200 to $1,350 is what he said he was getting per month, is about $1,200 or ish. We are getting double or more than double that on this listing. And this one, this person, Amira, this is one of those 14-day stays. It's the first person that booked, so we did discount those days. So they got 14 days for about $1,100. That is ballpark $75 a night, isn't it? Okay, so we still end up down there. So this person paid 70, 60. This person paid like another 75 a night. And so with this listing, it hasn't been performing as well as, say, the other one. And we will maybe look at why in a future video, as why this one's getting like 10 or 15 bucks less. But it is still full almost every single day of the week. And so if we're getting on average $75 a night, but every single night, we're still getting about $2,200 or $2,300, I think, at the end of the month, ballpark, right? So from the date that this thing was loaded, we only have had, wait, it's the 22nd now. We can actually get a booking on the 26th. We are at 100% occupancy on this thing since the day we took it over. Way cool. So what can we teach you about everything here? What else could we discuss? I'm sure there's a lot, but we up our prices and then we lower our prices based on whether or not like there's bookings on the outside. There's a bunch of pricing strategy stuff, which I have a playlist for that too. We made the photos better, right? And so what did we buy? Like I did promise you in the previous video that we'd talk about what we bought for the space. So what he did not have in the kitchens. He did not have a full pots and pans set. His plates were mismatched, so we fixed both of those. He did not have a water filter. We bought that. He had a Keurig machine, which gets expensive over time. They're also insanely hard to clean. If you know anything about coffee, you know that bacteria likes to grow. And the water reservoirs and the coffee traps, they get grody, they get nasty, and your housekeepers probably won't pay attention. So we switched the regular coffee system with the decaf option and the tea. Stuff like that. And so the coffee station, we like the way we make it look too. So we go for that. We bought that knife set, that Home Hero knife set we love. We bought cutting boards, strainers, mixing bowls, full kitchen, everything that, we could then say, hey, look, full kitchen, you're in. We bought some wine glasses. We did very minimal living room stuff, but we bought carpets. We bought a lot of external lighting. And what you saw, like actually, let's just run it right here. I'll show you from the previous video. We bought warm lights for one of the living rooms. We brought some books for the coffee tables. We bought a couple coffee tables because we moved some things around. We didn't buy any couches. We didn't replace his couches. We didn't replace his TVs or his TV stands. Like I said in another video, even though these aren't Amazon Fire TVs, they're set up with a Fire Stick, we're keeping them because we'd rather just somebody steal these TVs because a lot of them aren't wall mounted. We're praying to God somebody steals the non-wall mounted TVs so we can go buy a Fire TV on their dollar, right? So that'll happen. We did buy decorative pillows and throw blankets though. We definitely bought much better pillows for the bedrooms. We bought duvets, duvet covers, rugs for the bedrooms. We bought very little bit of art, but we bought a lot of greenery. We obviously bought much upgraded pillows, better sheets. Oh yeah. And then we also bought enough stuff to make the bathrooms look pretty as well. So a lot of the knickknacks and we decided to pick like darker colors for the shower because everything else in the space was like really white. So we figured a dark curtain could look good and give a little contrast to the photo. We bought place settings for the tables, like those little mats, so at least the table shots would look better. We didn't buy a set per table because we just got them done for the shots. People are not looking for little bamboo place settings when they eat. They're not going to set up in like Host at an $80 per night property. Now, if we're charging $300 a night, we'll keep those in there. If we advertise the little napkin holder rings, we'll keep those in there too at a nice property. But we do use props in our photos because it just makes the space look better, and people at a certain price point aren't expecting to actually have those things. Just word to the wise. So this took longer than we wanted it to take. It didn't take 2 days. It took us closer to a week to get 6 of them done. We will be finishing 2 more because the carpets were trashed. So we had to get professional carpet cleaners in there. And by the time they could show up, I had to disappear to Philadelphia to work on those. So we actually only have 6 of the 8 up. But because we're making twice as much as the previous host was, we're making $2,200 to $2,700 per door on 6 doors. We're making $14,000 almost on our 8 doors. And where he was making 96, what's 8 times 2? 16, yeah. So he's making 9,600. We're making about 14,000 with 2 less doors active. Our rents are about $8,000. Utilities would probably be about $8,300. So he was getting by with about $1,300 top, plus paying his cleaning fees and stuff. He was losing money after paying his housekeepers. That was his situation. So we now, for about the same operating cost, about $9,500 probably total, we're pulling in $14,000. So off of 6 doors, paying rent on 2 that are dead in the water, because we haven't set them up yet, we're profiting about $5,000 per month on 6 of them, which is cool. If we had the other 2 live and they were just paying their own way, we'd be profiting about $7,000 on 6 doors. Wicked, right? So that's the rescue. A lot of the basics on this one, just kind of meeting the customer where they're at and kind of filling out some of their extra needs, taking better photos, and just came in with a basic pricing strategy, and we flipped 6 of these 8 doors into profit. We don't even need the other 2 right now, but we're going to finish them. You'll probably see them later. So this was a big one, wasn't it? Leave the like, because we're talking about a lot of content here. And remember, I will make fun of Brian Page. And if you like Brian Page, I'm sorry, but he's a clown. He doesn't even host anymore. If he hosts, he's got maybe like 2 properties or 3 properties, but he maxed out at $300,000 a year once. He's a nobody. Sorry. So thanks for watching Airbnb Automated, where you get the real talk and just ignore his ads as usual. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.